Book 4, Psalms 90 to 106. This collection is not linked by the name, for instance, of a temple choir as in books 2 and 3, or of David as in book 1. Most of them are psalms for public worship. For example, Psalms 92 and 100. Both are introduced by a song 4. They have given the Christian Church a number of canticles, Psalms 95, 98 and 100, and also several hymns which are based, sometimes very closely, on these psalms, Psalm 90, 92, 100, 103 and 104. Unless we assign some sort of cultic origin to everything in the Psalter, that is, an association with the temple or the ceremonies of Israel, we can see that books 1, 2 and 3 tend to be personal and national, whereas books 4 and 5 tend to be liturgical, that is, concerned with the regular corporate praise of God. In book 4, God is predominantly named as Yahweh, the Lord, and in Hebrew this name is holy in capitals, whereas Elohim, which was used, as you remember, in book 2, is not. Most of these psalms are anonymous, but Psalm 90 is attributed to Moses and Psalms 101 and 103 to David. The clusters of psalms in book 4 are mostly linked by their subjects or uses rather than their authorship. This continues into book 5. In this book, book 4, the titles are important, with Psalm 100 being a psalm for the thank offering, Psalm 102, a prayer of one afflicted when he is faint and pours out his complaint before the Lord, or Psalm 92, a song for the Sabbath, and so it goes on. This is the testimony of the text itself, and in the Hebrew Bible appears as verse 1 of the psalm. In Mark 12, 35 to 37, Acts 2, 29 and following and 34 and following, Acts 13, 35 to 37, we see the New Testament using the titles of the Psalms to build its arguments, as indeed we see in the life of Jesus. There is a suggestion that these titles may have been referring back to the previous psalm, an ending rather than a beginning, and were misplaced with liturgical use. The scholars arguing this point to Habakkuk 3:19 as an example of this practice. This is set out by a man called Mackenzie in an article, Psalm 148, 4b, conclusion or title, ? Book 4 has numerous references to Moses and the Exodus. It also has a sense of song and sacred liturgy about it, perhaps connected to the Tabernacle festival and other festivals celebrating the Exodus. So perhaps it might be seen as either a collection for use at tabernacles or an Exodus collection. Tabernacles, the festival, celebrates the completion of the harvest, and every 7 years there is a reading of the law that God gave through Moses at this festival. They recall every year God bringing his people out of Egypt and leading them through the wilderness. So, Book 4, very much an Exodus collection.